What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, Ty's Nuggets. I hope you guys had an awesome week. Things went well for you and you've been shown favor upon your life. So today I am back with another video and we're going to talk about the list that we have for our future mate, our future husband, and also praying for him through that list. So as we've heard or seen before, people are like, okay, just make a list of things that you want in a husband, make a list, write it down, and then pray about it. So, maybe a few years ago, after one relationship, I made a list, but I believe the list was based off of that particular relationship, like things that I didn't like and things that I wanted in that particular relationship. So I made a list off of that. And then maybe 3 years later, I made another list, but I have not looked at that list in about 2 years. Yeah, I don't know if I feel the need to look at the list because when I make it, sometimes I feel like I leave off things, so I have to keep adding and adding and adding stuff. And then I'm like, no, that's too much. Just be general, but no, you should be specific. Like I go back and forth. So you'll hear like people say, be specific about things that you want and things that you pray for. So I'm like, okay, I got this list. I prayed over the list. Boom. So again, on my little social media escapades, there was a question posted that says, do you pray for your spouse? And of course, I read the comments, and the comments like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I pray every day, every day. So one person come in and was like, I prayed about my spouse, I prayed about him and for him, and then I'm just gonna leave it in that. Like, I don't. God doesn't need to be reminded about that. And it's kind of like people attacked her and was like, oh my God, that's not right. You should pray for him every day. And I come in and I was like, I get where you're coming from because I do pray for my spouse. I pray about my spouse, but I don't pray every day because again, I don't feel like, God should have to be reminded. Like I've made my request known, so he knows, and in his timing, he's going to deliver. And two, I don't want my life to be centered around that because of course there's more to life than that. He knows my heart's desire. So I truly believe that he will give it to me. So I don't necessarily have to consistently pray about it. I think I just thank him in advance. So my prayer is more of a thankful prayer. And so then we were talking about like the list thing, and it's like, what about the list? It's like things that we want, but are those things that we need? So along the lines again of my social media thing, Latoya Luckett was saying how she had a list, and at one point she just got rid of the list and just started praying for God's will. And I thought about that thing and I was like, you know what? That is so true. Like instead of having this list, what about praying for God's will? And so I questioned myself, what would be the difference in the list as opposed to praying for God's will? And for me, it's like a control slash trust issue. When you pray, like specifically your list, it's like, okay, Lord, I know what I want. I just need you to give it to me. And then if it's like God's will, it's like, okay, God, I trust you because you know me and you know what I need. And I trust that you will give it to me. So for me, that's like two totally different levels. Like trust big. It's like, okay, God, I trust you to give me what I need, not necessarily what I want. And a lot of times we think that we need things, but they're really wants, especially in a spouse. So now I'm thinking like, okay, forget the list. One, I will still pray for my spouse. And again, like I said, I don't pray every day, maybe every 3 to 5 days, maybe. I don't know. I don't count. I just pray sometimes, like cover him, cover his heart, make sure he's seeking godly counsel. He has great support around him, that kind of thing. So maybe every 3 to 5 days, I pray for him. But I think that I'm going to do just pray God's will, because God knows what's best. And for me, that's a level of trust. And I feel like that's a big level in my relationship with God too. Just completely, wholeheartedly trusting Him, taking my hands off of everything. Because we always say, like, yeah, I trust God, but how much do we really trust Him? Do we trust Him enough, or do we have to have our hands in it like a little bit? So tell me what you guys think. Do you have a list that you've made for your future spouse, your future husband, and you go off that list? And do you pray for him? And how often do you pray? Do you pray every day, every once in a while? Do you feel like you have to pray every day? And then if you miss a day, do you think like God doesn't forget? It's like He's heard it the first time when we prayed it, however many years or months ago. Like He heard it the first time. So again, getting into the spirit of just thanking Him in advance, thanking Him for manifestation, thanking Him for bringing that man into my life that He knows that I need, that's tailored just for me. So I think that's gonna be my new thing. I'm gonna just pray for God's will. I will continue to pray for His heart and just general things that He's covered. He has godly counsel. He has a good support system. Just general things, but everything else, I'm just going to leave it up to God and trust that He has my best interest at heart. So, y'all, until next week, try not to be too dysfunctional. And if you are, pick yourself up and keep going, y'all. There's a lot of life to live, and we ain't got time to be wasting. Like, life is moving on. So, remember to comment, like, subscribe, share my channel with everyone you know, and I'll be back next week. See you guys later. Bye.